Fingers spread, her hand is big, how to get the strength to sing. Those that have make a big, send that power to the real. Amen, amen, hand in hand, that's the only way to unity will make us free. It's gonna make us free. Under Yah, with unity, a chain that has a weekend link. Let the slip and sing, repair that chain, make it back, us the chain is made to love. Amen, amen, hand in hand, that's the only way to stand. Unity will make us free. It's gonna make us free. Under Yah, with unity, togetherness will make us strong. Unity shall be our song. Our strength lies in the will to be under Yah, with unity. Amen, amen, hand in hand, that's the only way to stand. Unity will make us free. It's gonna make us free. Under Yah, with unity. Amen, amen, hand in hand, that's the only way to stand. Unity will make us free. It's gonna make us free. Under Yah, with unity. Amen, amen, hand in hand, that's the only way to stand. Unity It's gonna make us free. Under Yah, in unity.
Look at Jacob's children all over this world. Look at Jacob's children.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Welcome everyone once again to the D.C.B channel. My name is Chief Uzi Alewi. If you can hear me good out there, please give me a 1. Give me a 1, please, out there. If you hear me clearly out there, please give me a 1. Give me a 1 if you hear me clearly out there. Thank you, the Most High King of the universe, for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, food, clothing, and shelter, the knowledge of self, the ability to be able to call upon his name in truth and in righteousness, and to be able to uplift them. Over here, Facebook Live. And let me say welcome to the people on Facebook Live. Blessed be Yehovah, our King, once again. We thank the Most High King of heaven and earth for our lives, for everything that he provides for us, for food, clothing, and shelter, and for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. How's everyone doing out there? I hope that everyone is well out there. I hope that everyone had a great Shabbat meal or is having a great Shabbat meal. Let me see who's here with us. Shabbat Shalom to Adon Moshe Yisrael, Baritiel, Mikhail Rowe, Ima Naomi, Shabbat Shalom, Malachi Yisrael Yehuda, and everybody else who's joining us. Thanking the Most High King for this day. Thanking him for this holy Shabbat day. Thanking him for knowledge of self and for being there for us in all of our endeavors. Thanking Yehovah for our understanding of Torah and for allowing us to be here in the land of the living. Because tomorrow is not promised to anyone. And definitely today wasn't promised to us, but we're still here enjoying this holy Shabbat day. I just want to make sure that I'm being heard clearly. Make sure that I'm being heard clearly. So thank you, the Most High King, for all things. Giving thanks to Yehovah for this holy season that's upon us. Thank you, Yehovah, for this 7th month, the month of Itanim. We give thanks to the Creator for the holy season that's upon us. All the days that come within the 7th month. On the first day of the 7th month is the holy day that we call Yom Teruah. Yom meaning day, Teruah meaning blowing, the day of the blowing. So next week, Wednesday at sundown, the 20th at sundown, begins the 7th month. And what brings in the 7th month is a day of blowing. Now, naturally, if we read in the book of Numbers chapter 10, and where it speaks about where the Most High God speaks to the children of Israel and tell them to make to themselves 2 silver trumpets. And he specifies that during sacrifices and during certain days, you're supposed to give a blast, right? With the trumpet on the new moon, on certain days over the offerings, so forth and so on. So on this day, on Yom Teruah, we will also we'll be blowing those silver trumpets because it's a new moon. It's a Rosh Kodesh. So not only is it a day of the blowing, but it's also a Rosh Kodesh. It's the head of the month. Now, it's not the head of the year. In Jewish tradition, they call this Rosh Hashanah. Rosh meaning the head, and Shana or Hashanah meaning the year, the head of the year. So now the Most High God told us that the month of Abib should be to us the beginning of our year. So Abib should be the beginning of months unto you. So that by default makes it our new year. In Jewish tradition, they call Rosh Hashanah the new year because they say that this is, quote unquote, when the earth was created. So this is the beginning of the ecclesiastical year. Nowhere in Torah does it say that, so we don't follow that tradition as Israelites. We follow what the Torah said, where it tells us that Abib is the beginning of years unto us. The Brotherhood Retreat, I thought the Brotherhood Retreat is in May. I could be mistaken, but I think the Brotherhood Retreat is in March 2018 out in Maryland. But I could be wrong, Sharon Webster. I didn't know there was a Brotherhood Retreat during this time of the year. But yeah, like I was saying, so we don't call this Rosh Hashanah. We call this Yom Teruah, just like the Torah tells us. Let me see. Let us go now quickly. You know what we do. We validate everything with Torah. So I'm going to go to the book of Leviticus 23. Leviticus 23:23, and it reads, and Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, says in Hebrew, it says, Wadaber Yahweh el Moshe lemor, speak unto the children of Yisrael, saying, in the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall be a solemn rest unto you, a memorial proclaimed with the blast of horns, a holy convocation. So now in the English, it's translated as, let me just make sure, blast of horns, right? But in Hebrew, it just says, make a noise or make a or just make a blowing, right? But it's assumed that if you're going to do a blowing, it's going to be with a horn. With what type of horn, it doesn't specify here. It says here in verse 24, Daber el bnei Yisrael, speak unto the children of Israel, lemor, saying, Pakodesh hashvi'i be'ekad lekodesh, right? In the 7th month, and the first day of the month shall be a solemn rest unto you, right? The first day of the month is also a new moon. It says, Yiyeh lachem Shabbaton Zikron Teruah, right? Shall be a solemn rest unto you, a memorial proclaimed with the blast. Like I said, in the Hebrew, it says Teruah just means with the blowing, right? So it's the day of the blowing. Mikra Kodesh, right? With the blast of horns, a holy convocation. And it shall be a holy convocation, meaning it's a day that we gather together and we give praises to the Most High God. Ye shall do no manner of servile work. Ye shall bring an offering made by fire unto Jehovah. So you bring an offering on that day, besides the new moon offerings that you will bring on that day, and also the daily offerings that are in the morning and in the evening that you're supposed to bring. Shabbat Shalom, family. Everybody that's checking in, Shabbat Shalom to everyone online, on Facebook Live, and also everybody that's with us on YouTube. So yes, so now we see that it's the day of the blowing. So now, traditionally and logically, what we would say is that most people couldn't afford trumpets, right? You say trumpet chatzorah, right? Chatzorah. That's how you say trumpet in Hebrew. And if you read in the book of Numbers chapter 10, if we go there quickly, we will see that it speaks of a chatzorah. Go there real quickly. Numbers chapter 10. Verse 1 says, and Yahweh spoke unto Moses, saying, make thee 2 trumpets of silver, of beaten work shalt thou make them. So it says, Wadaber Yahweh al Moshe lemor. It says, Aseh lecha shete, meaning 2, chat sorot, 2 trumpets, right? The singular is chat sorah, but since you're making is plural and you're making is more than one, so it's chat sorot, right? So those are the trumpets that you make. So that's how you say trumpet. But when we look in Leviticus 23, it doesn't specify what do you do the blowing with. So for most purposes, the people will most likely have ram's horns, which we call shofar, right? A shofar, a ram's horn is a shofar. So through tradition, we blow the ram's horn during the day of the blowing. But you could also blow a trumpet. There's nothing against Torah with that, because it just says do a blowing, right? It's now through tradition and what we've learned, we often say that this blowing is in preparation for the days to come, right? The next day following Yom Teruah being Yom HaKippurim, meaning the Day of Atonement, which if we come before God right, it is assumed that the Most High God will clean our slates from all of our sins and cause us to walk righteously before him once again. And perhaps we won't go back to those sins anymore. So some people call them days of penitence, 10 days of penitence before Yom HaKippurim, which is where we begin to do away with all the things that hold us down and start remembering all the sins and bringing them up before the Most High. So remember, Yom Teruah, Yom meaning day, Teruah meaning blowing, the day of the blowing will begin for us on Wednesday, September 20th at sundown, right? And it will conclude on Thursday, September 21st at sundown. We do not keep 2 days for the holy days because for these holy days, because the Most High God did not command us to keep 2 days. So we don't keep 2 days. We only keep 1 day. We don't follow that tradition and that way of keeping 2 days. We only keep 1 day. So just hoping that that's clear to everyone. The first day of the holy season will begin on Wednesday night, September 20th at sundown. Just letting everyone know. That's when that will be. Let me just check over here real quickly. Cause my dear our dear elder and brother Jerome, he was concerned with the dates and he wanted me to give out all the dates specifically. So I'm just trying to find him here. So here we go. So Wednesday, September 20th at sundown begins the holy season. It is the day of the blowing, and it is also a new moon, right? Wednesday, September 20th, 2017 begins Yom Teruah, and it concludes on Thursday, September 21st at sundown, 2017. That's for everybody out there. Shalom, Sister Shelly Shell. Feeling so blessed, Yisrael. Good to see you in the room. So this is the first of the holy days. So now, listen closely. The next holy day will also, well, the next holy day will be a double holy day, because technically, new moon is not a holy day. It's not called holy by the Most High. No, I'm not in Chicago, sister. I am in New York City. We are an hour, I believe, ahead of Chicago or behind. I don't know how that works. I don't know what time zone Chicago is in. Central. I believe it's in Central. So now, listen closely. Yom Kippur, you do not need a day off. Now you need a day off for Yom Teruah, right? Either if you work nights or if you work day. If you work nights, you need the 20th off at night. And if you work days, daytime, you need the 21st. Depending from what time to what time you work, you might need to leave work a little bit early, depending on your situation. So now listen closely. The next day that we're observing at D.C.B. and the day that we're keeping for Yom Kippur, 10 days after, is Yom Kippur on Shabbat, right? It's on a Shabbat day, which will be the 30th, Saturday the 30th, September 30th, will be Yom Kippur. So naturally, it will begin on Friday, September 29th at sundown. It will conclude on Saturday, September 30th at sundown. So that's Yom Kippur. That will be a double Shabbat, a double holy day, however you want to call it. So that's what's happening there. That's what's going on with that. So is everyone clear? Give me a thumbs up if everyone is clear with what the announcement that I'm making and with that everything that I'm putting forth, so that we won't have any confusion and that people will know exactly what's going on and what we are doing. I want to make sure everybody is very clear with what we're doing. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm not here to discuss calendar coalitions or differences and any differences that we might have in keeping any type of thing. I'm just giving instruction on the days that we're keeping. All right, so just letting everyone know. So Tavel, my brother Moray Tavel, you're in Myrtle Beach, what's that, South Carolina? I'm glad that you're there, brother. Good to know that you're vacationing. Sha'atil Yisrael. Shalom, my brother. All right, so Yom Kippur, Yom HaKippurim, will be on a Shabbat day. All right? So Yom Kippur will begin on September 29th at sundown, which is a Friday night, Friday, September 29th at sundown, and it will conclude on Saturday, September 30th at sundown. So there'll be a double holy day. All right. It'll be a double holy day because it'll be naturally the Shabbat day, and it will be the Day of Atonement, which we don't eat any food, we don't drink any liquids. We go the whole 24-hour period without taking any liquid or eating any food. It is an affliction of the soul. Yom HaKippurim. That's the Day of Atonement. I hope I'm being clear to everyone, and that everyone is taking these dates down. I'm going to try to make a calendar and put it up on the YouTube channel with an announcement, and just put up a calendar up there with a flyer, making an announcement and letting everybody know what are the days, so that everyone will be prepared, and let everyone know what you can and cannot do during these days. All right. So now remember, that is a Shabbat day. So sometimes when Yom Kippur falls on the Shabbat day, sometimes it goes by a little bit easier because we already in that mode. Yom Kippur is never a day that you get used to, but I don't think you're supposed to get used to it. Yes, I will post it on Facebook also. So those, now remember, there are people who keep days on different days, but I'm not concentrating on that. That's not what we do. Those brothers and those sisters keep their days on during those times. For those of you who follow us and who are under what we do, then we are, and Sha'atil, are you in Myrtle Beach also? Let me see here. So now, 5 days after that begins the Feast of Booth, when the Most High God told us that we should build booths to remember our journey in the wilderness, and that we dwelt in basically huts, booths, or whatever it might be. So this is also a day that we must observe. If you live anywhere remotely, if you're a builder, if you own a home, start making preparation for that now. It's easy. You just get some plywood, you build it into a box. You could build it as big as you want to. Some people build it into being a nice size, and they go in there and they eat with their families, because we're commanded to dwell in booths. Some people pop up tents if you don't know how to build, and they just get some willows, some branches of trees, and they put it in the what we call booths, or in the tent, to have the feel of what our forefathers felt in the wilderness. You have some people that even camp out, that sleep in them, but it is commanded for us to dwell in them. So just letting everybody know, these are the options that you have. We usually build a booth. People who own their homes or have their homes, they usually build booths in their homes, wherever they might be. Some people do it in the fire escapes. So that's for everybody out there. So am I being clear? Is everybody clear in what I'm announcing? So here it is. The first day of Sukkot. Now remember, it's a 7-day celebration, Sukkot. The first day of Sukkot, take these notes down, that D.C.B is celebrating. The first day will begin on the evening or in the night of Wednesday, October the 4th, Wednesday, October the 4th at sundown will begin the Feast of Booth, the first day of the Feast of Booth. Can you believe this? Let me put this phone. This is the house phone. Let me see if I could turn the volume down on this. All right. So now, getting back to this. The first day of Sukkot will begin on the evening of Wednesday, October the 4th, sundown. Give me 1 second here, people. All right. Once again, first day of Sukkot begins on Wednesday, October the 4th at sundown. And it ends on Thursday, October the 5th at sundown. We are only commanded to keep the first day of Sukkot holy, where we don't go to work, we don't go to school, we don't do any of those things. And now people make a mistake and say, oh, and the 8th day of Sukkot. There's no 8th day of Sukkot, right? Sukkot only has, it's a 7-day celebration with the first day being a holy day. Get this clear. Sukkot is a 7-day celebration with the first day being a holy day. What people usually mistake as thinking as the 8th day of Sukkot is not called the 8th day of Sukkot. It's called the 8th day solemn assembly, right? So this is after we're finished feasting for Sukkot and doing all these things. Now we have an 8th day to reflect on this past month that we've celebrated and done everything that we've done. So just want to make sure that I'm being clear. All right. Is everyone clear out there? So the 8th day solemn assembly, which we know as Shemini Atzeret, right? Shemini meaning 8th, right? Atzeret, assembly. The 8th day or solemn, right? Assembly. That day begins, tell you right now. That day begins on Wednesday, October 11th, and it concludes on Thursday, October 12th. So that's 8 days, 8 days later. So actually, the first day of Sukkot lines up with the 8th day solemn assembly, Shemini Atzeret, right? They begin on the same day of the week and they end on the same day of the week. So, right? So remember, Shemini Atzeret begins on the 11th of October at sundown, Wednesday, October 11th at sundown, and it concludes on Thursday, October 12th at sundown. We do not keep 2 days. We do not keep 2 days. All right. So there you have it. I hope that I'm being clear. Like I said, I'm gonna do this all over again. I'm gonna do like how I did my video. By the way, did y'all like my video with the introduction for the YouTube page? Give me a thumbs up if you like that. I'm going to do more videos like that, making announcements for people and letting people understand and know what's going on. So that's for everybody out there. So now, as far as these days, right. So I just want to say this, for the holy days, you don't go to school, you don't go to work. These are days that we take off, we take vacation days, whatever it might be. This is what we do. We don't do any secular activity. For the feast days, we're allowed to cook on those days, but no manner of servile work are permitted on those days. So just making it clear for everyone and making everybody know the things that we are commanded to do and the things that we are not supposed to do. So I hope that everybody was clear on that. If you have any questions, please let me know. Get back to me. All right. Give me 1 second here. Listen to this selection. I have to run out real quick. Listen to this selection as I will return shortly. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
All over this world, look at Jacob's children. All over this world, their mind is in the dark, their heart is in the swirl. Jacob, you better wake up. All over this world, look at Jacob's children. All over this world, look at Jacob's children. All over this world, their mind is in the dark, their heart is in the swirl. Jacob, you better wake up. All over this world. Look at Jacob's children all over this world. Look at Jacob's children all over this world. Their mind is in the dark, their heart is in the swirl. Jacob, you better wake up. All over this world. Look at Jacob's children all over this world. Look at Jacob's children all over this world. Their mind is in the dark, their heart is in the swirl. Jacob, you better wake up. All over this world. Look at Jacob's children all over this world. Look at Jacob's children all over this world. Their mind is in the dark, their heart is in the swirl. Jacob, you better wake up. All over this world. Look at Jacob's children all over this world. Look at Jacob's children all over this world. Their mind is in the dark, their heart is in the swirl. Jacob, you better wake up. All over this world.
Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom. Shalom, shalom. All right. Blessed be the Most High once again. So reiterating the days, and I hope I don't have to reiterate it. I'm just giving y'all an announcement. Like I said, I'm gonna put it on the site. Just put those days in, and that's basically it. Like I said, I was explaining Yom Teruah earlier. It's just the day of the blowing. It doesn't matter what instrument you have to blow with. We traditionally use a ram's horn, but it's not commanded to use a ram's horn. So if you got a trumpet, bugle, any kind of thing, just make some noise. It's a day of blowing. Make some noise before the Creator. Let him hear it. We usually sing the song "Blow Ye the Trumpet in Zion, sound an alarm in the holy mountain. Let all the people of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh is coming. The day of Yahweh is at hand." So we will say a series of prayers, which we will share with y'all. It will be on the link that day. It will be on the description that day. So make sure to download it beforehand, have it printed out. I'm going to try to have that stream uploaded from earlier in the week so that you could download it and you could follow along. It's important to follow along with the prayers and everything that we're doing. It's very important to do that. All right, it's very important to do that. Shalom, brother John Cardwell. Good to see you. So these are the holy seasons that are commanded by the Most High God. We got to remember, God didn't command us to celebrate Easter, Xmas. He didn't command us to celebrate any of those days. He commanded us to keep these days that are appointed in the book of Leviticus chapter 23. So those days being the Shabbat day, the first day of CHOKMAH, Pesach, right? If we were in the land, we would have the Passover lamb. Seventh day of CHOKMAH. Then he told us to keep Shavuot, which is the Feast of Weeks. Now the holy day we're coming up on is Yom Teruah, not Rosh Hashanah, because it's not the beginning of our year. As the Jewish man says, the beginning of the ecclesiastical year, right? I believe, or celestial year, because they believe that this is the time when the Most High God created the heavens and the earth. But the Most High God said that this is the 7th month, and he called Abib, which is during the springtime, or when the season of our liberation from Egypt, which is around Passover time. That should be our beginning of months. Then on the 10th day of the 7th month is the Day of Atonement, Yom HaKippurim, the Day of Atonement. Then 5 days after that, you have the Feast of Booth, which is a commemoration of our forefathers dwelling in booths in the wilderness, hot in the wilderness. And then we close out with the 8th day solemn assembly, which is Shemini Atzeret. I already gave the dates. Like I said, I'm going to make a video with all the dates up there so that everybody will be clear and that everybody will have an understanding of the days. These days are holy, so we don't go to school, we don't go to work, we don't do secular activity. These days actually are required to have a holy convocation and to do no manner of servile work. All right? So that's for everyone out there. I'm hope that I'm making myself clear. I don't want to get into all the other stuff because then it gets to be I think people do what they do. I don't agree with everything people do on these days, but I'm not here to throw stones. I'm only here to edify the people that are on our platform, listening and trying to follow the things according to what Torah says. So, for me to talk about other things doesn't really make any sense right now, because right now there's so many people in need that want to know exactly what is it that we have to do on these days, and they want to follow exactly what is it that has to be done on this day. So I'm not going to do that. Also, when I'm finished here, yes, I'm going to put it up on the D.C.B site. Also, later tonight on my Uziah Lewy channel, I'm going to be streaming The Valley of Dry Bones Part 2 with Chief Naftali Ben Don. Pertinent information if you want to listen to that. You know what? I'm going to just upload it rather than stream it, because I'm going to end up falling asleep, and then that stream will be on all night. Also, after I finish here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to try to play some music or the Bible tapes. You know how I used to do before, the Bible tapes on Facebook Live, and just have it up there playing for those of you that want to listen. I don't know how long Facebook allows it to play out, but I'll just let it play out and stream out and whatever it may be. I might start out with some music, and then so all of you that have me as a friend on Facebook, you could go to my Facebook page, and I definitely will be on that playing that stuff, playing music and going back. For those of you that go back as far with me with the Pal Talk days and the Yahoo Messenger, there's a couple of people that's been on from the past 10 years since I've been doing this. So for all of you that's been on with us and know what I do, then you know how we used to do it. Everybody used to enjoy that. My Facebook name is Uziah Lewy. Uziah Lewy. What I will do is I will put the stream also on the D.C.B D.C.B channel. We have a page also. Not channel, on page. D.C.B page on Facebook. Channel is YouTube. D.C.B. Oh, let me rewrite that. Not D.C.B channel. D.C.B page. Facebook. There you go. D.C.B page on Facebook. What I'll try to do is I'll try to create the stream and then put the link here before I close out there. Put the link here, and you could just press it, and I believe it will let you listen to it. I don't even without a Facebook page. I'm not sure how that works. So I hope that I was clear tonight. I'm not going to stay on long. I just wanted to bring that information, let everybody know to stay strong despite it. When this holy season comes and when this holy time comes, it's a time of reflection. Often, the funny thing about, the Day of Atonement, right? We look for forgiveness from the Most High, but it's so hard for us to forgive those who have wronged us. And those are the things that we have to work on within ourselves, within our families, our households. Learn how to learn how to forgive, right? Learn how to forgive, learn how to move on. If Yah wasn't merciful to us, many of us would be gone already. So if we learn how to be forgiven, we learn how to be that people of God and learn to let go of the baggage that holds us down, then I think that Yah will consider us a little bit more. But when we carry that baggage, you know, you holding on to stuff with brothers and sisters from years ago, that really wasn't something that was detrimental to you. It's because it's your hangups. Then it's something that you have to fix within yourself, you know, and you have to straighten out. You know, sometimes, you know, a lot of times people do things and they say things like, if I had a problem with someone when I was a teenager, when I was a young man, I'm not carrying that problem with them now that I'm 40 years old. And you have people that thrive on conflict and look for conflict in their lives. And those things are, you know, are bad or wrong. You know, people say things about people. And I mean, these things happened 30 years ago, and you still bringing up something that someone did 30 years ago. You have to learn to let go of those things, because that person might not be the same person. They might have went to Yah and asked for forgiveness, and you still talking about something that they did 30 years ago. You know, so how is Yah looking at you? So we really have to reflect on ourselves and really look at ourselves and take people for face value, what they show you at the time and at the moment, because you might still be judging something by, you know, sometimes you ever see authors, they write a book, and then they write a book, and maybe the book wasn't cited a certain way, or certain things was missed out of it, or the author gains more understanding about certain things, and then he revises the book, and the book is that much more better, and it has more information, and is more informative, and that's how human beings are. We are like revised books. You know, as we get older, with more time, we become better. We try to become better, at least not everyone, but for, you know, just the example, we try to become better. You know, everybody hopefully is not the same way that they was when they was teenagers, making them same mistakes and stumping your toes. You understand what I'm saying? We got to work on our characters. We all have certain character flaws. We know what they are. I'm not here to point them out. Sometimes people look at teachers and think like we got some binoculars looking through your windows, because there are things that are said, and you say, well, how did he know that? How did he know to say that? And that just comes from the Most High. The Most High works his magic, and he knows who needs the message at that point. So don't think that teachers is looking through your window and finding out everything that you're doing. It doesn't work that way, brothers and sisters. That's just the Most High God. So let's try to be the best Israelites that we could be. Let's try to gain understanding. Try to help people more than tear them down. Let go of some of that baggage. And you know, the funny thing with people that I've noticed with humans, right? With Israel especially, because that's who I dwell with most of the time. Israelites are a fickle bunch. My people, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about myself. We would hold a grudge with someone, right, that we deem that did us wrong or did something to us, right? And you would look at that person did and never forgive them. I mean, 50 Yom Kippurs could have went past, and you never forgave them, right? Or you never let that thing go that hurt you so much. But someone in your family does it, that same thing, or something similar to what that brother did to you, you don't hold them in the same light, or hold them in the same, how do you say it, in the same contempt as the person that you felt might have did you something wrong. And I'm just saying that that's like a double standard, because if you're going to be angry with someone you felt did you wrong, then you should be the same way with that family member or that close friend that's yours that did the same, who did the same thing or did something similar. So that's all. You know, it's a beautiful night. Our prayers still go out to, I'll be remiss if I didn't talk about this. We are trying to, and this is going off a little bit off the topic, but we're trying to reach out to the people out in the Virgin Islands who are really, really, really struggling. We got contact with a couple of people. So what we're going to do at Congregation Bay D.C.B. is we're going to start getting some barrels. We're going to start getting some, some help for our people that are going to be overlooked in these islands. You know, they're going to get to them later. So while the efforts are being made up here by FEMA and all the people here, which is on the mainland, you also got people in islands like Barbuda, I believe St. Vincent and certain other islands that got totally destroyed. We got to look out for our people. We all the same people, no matter where we come from. The boat just left us off at different places. The separation comes from what the slave master put in us to make us think that one group was better than the other. But when you see your brother and your sister, no matter where they from, don't ever think that you're better. But don't ever think that you're better because you came from the islands and they told you that American blacks are lazy and shiftless and all of that. Don't forget that on the backs of the blacks that were here in America is how you are able to operate in certain fields in certain places, And the same thing with our brothers and sisters from here. You can't look down at our people that come from the islands and look at them as being inferior, because we're all the same people at the end of the day. So those are the things that we have to keep in mind and have the love and brothers and sisters that are going through a struggle and help out in all the things that we could do. So we're going to put that together. We're going to have a flyer out soon. They're going to need help. They don't have the resources that are here. They don't have the money. Some people, all they crops, they animals, everything dead. They don't have anything. They don't have food, anything, and all that stuff takes a while to grow back. They island, in a nutshell, got washed away. When you're talking about 95% destruction, you're talking about people that won't survive, that won't live anymore. The next thing is death, because you don't have anything. But our people are resilient. They're survivors. I know they'll go out to the water, catch some fish. They'll live off of fish for a while until their crops could grow back and, things start coming back into the country. But in the meanwhile, we're going to do our little part and try to help out our people and do all the things that we could do to help out our people. So we should be coming out with that information soon, maybe on Yom Rishon, which is Sunday. Have that information out for everyone and let everybody know exactly what is it that we're doing. Going to have a few barrels. We're going to have a liaison down there. We're going to send our liaison from up here, Chief Benjamin. We're trying to fix that up for him to go down there and see what we could do with our people down there. So once again, let's keep our people in the prayers. Also the people in Texas. Let's keep the people in Florida in our prayers. And just to answer a question that was put forth on that someone emailed me because they were concerned, and I spoke to Chief Benjamin about it. And when Chief Benjamin made when he spoke last week, he spoke about the people in the Caribbean island. And I think it was misconstrued what he was saying. He wasn't saying that we should not think about the people or our brothers and sisters who went through the struggle here in the mainland America, because we are all brothers and sisters. What he was more saying is, that our brothers and sisters down there need help and that we should help them, and that's what he was saying. He was saying that they need help and that we should help them, not that he prefers to help one group over the other. Because if you know Chief Benjamin, when Flint needed water, he did a drive to collect, and he collected over, I believe, like over 20,000 bottles of water. to send down to Flint, Michigan. The truck came, took the water down to Flint, Michigan. That's how people here. So our brother Chief Benjamin, he was just saying that, you know, for most part, the people that are here, they on the mainland, but the people who living in the islands, they are also our people. And we also have to be concerned about them and not just not think about them. So that's what his concern was. Not that he wasn't concerned with the people in Texas or the people in Florida and in Georgia and all the places that got affected, South Carolina, I believe, and places like that. So he just to clarify that, because I did speak to him and brought it up to his attention. So that's for everyone out there. We love all of our people no matter where they're at. So Toda once again for tuning in. Give me like, I'm going to have to close out this on Facebook Live, and then I'm going to have to restart it. So when I restart it, then I'll be playing the music. And then after that, I'll go into the Bible tapes and stuff like that. All right. So once again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for supporting us, and keep supporting us, you know, with every which way that you could support us. We don't ask for much, but in order to keep everything going, you know what we do, Akare Shabbat, we help, we donate, and we try to keep all this stuff going. So once again, to all my people that are in here, can man really control the weather? I don't know. I think, in fact, yeah. And this and the only reason why I'm saying that is because if you know something, Qatar was given the World Cup is next year, 18, right? So Qatar, which is a country in the Middle East, was given the 2022 World Cup. Now, the organizers of the World Cup were not the organizers, because they got money under the table, but basically there were people from other countries saying that, how are you going to give Qatar a World Cup and they got excess of temperatures that go up to 120 something degrees? Like, you know, the players are going to die in that kind of situation. And they were talking about creating these clouds that will keep the stadium cool, and creating these hovering type of air conditioning. It was some crazy stuff, but they was basically saying, we got it under control. The players are not going to overheat. So I don't know. It might be some truth to that. I think that it could be some truth to that, but I don't have any scientific proof. Let me see. What we got here. Right. You could forgive but not forget. You're right. The Turks in Antigua. Oh, I was missing all this conversation over here. Amen. I noticed that there's always some catastrophic events around this holy season. I've begun to contemplate my life. Don't wait until the day to look within. Could it be that during the holy season is always where it's hurricane season? Sha'atiel, that's why there's always some catastrophic stuff going on. I'm just saying, you know, it is hurricane season, but the hurricanes are becoming more intense. They are coming closer. The intense ones are coming closer and closer together. And I believe that the factor for that is, global warming. I do believe in global warming. I believe that man is destroying the earth slowly. God did say he will renew the earth, but meanwhile we are destroying it with the carbon emission. I mean, I could go on and on about that, but some people, you know, some people don't believe in that, but I do. I believe that we all have to do our part. I just put some solar panels up in my house. I'm trying to do my part. I do my recycling so that those plastic containers don't end up in the landfills. I haven't gotten into compost and stuff like that yet, but I do believe that we have to be more conscious about what we do. We have to be more thoughtful about how we treat the earth that God gave us to live in. Some people are not into this, I get it, but I recycle. You know, every bottle of water that I pay a 5-cent deposit on, I recycle it and get my 5 cents back. I mean, I don't mean to be talking business, but I'm just telling you what I do, because I do believe in global warming. I do believe that, you know, the ice caps in, you know, up north, they are melting and they are causing the sea levels to rise. The more the sea, you see hurricanes and storms come from the heat, right? The heat in the earth. So Shabbat Shalom, Gavret Miriam from Guyana. No, evil, when the evil befalls the city, Yah does it, but we also cause a lot of the things that come upon us. And we tend to blame Yah for everything. Everything God didn't create, he didn't create it. Sometimes things happen from an effect of us taking an action. It's already out there. So if we're destroying the earth and we're warming up the earth, then the reaction from that is more intense storms, sea rise, you know, the levels of the sea rising and things of that nature. Yes. Say you and me both. I want my nickel back. That's right. That's right. I gotta get that nickel back, man. I don't play that game. And those who know me for a long time know how I do it. I don't play them games. I get my nickels back. Sometimes I take the stuff from the camp that people are throwing away. I put them in bags, and I'll be driving in my car with bags, and I take my time and bag it up. And I'm just doing my little part. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I'm going into my environmental speech. Yes, I am a Levite. So I'm going into my environmental spiel now. This is what for years I've listened to NPR radio, and because I don't listen to too much cowboy music anymore. You know, I am a child of hip hop, but the older you get, you tend to want to listen to more things about the world. So the thing about plastic is that every plastic container that they create and it ends up in a landfill, it doesn't it's not biodegradable, meaning that plastic does not break down and go back into the earth like paper or like peels from a fruit, or even the human body that decomposes. Plastic doesn't decompose, so it just stays on the earth, and then it becomes a toxin. All the little plastic bags that we get from the supermarket and stuff like that stuff doesn't decompose and ends up in the landfill, and it's just plastic in the earth that doesn't decompose. So those are things that I consider, you know. So what I have to get into the practice of, I shop a lot at Whole Foods, and some of y'all gonna talk about it, but Whole Foods don't give you plastic bags. They give you the paper bags. Like back in the days, remember you used to get the paper bags. Well, Whole Foods still gives you that. And I try to do my little part. I do go to some places that do. I mean, obviously, I don't only shop at Whole Foods, but I got other places that I shop at that give you plastic bags, and you can't help that, you know. But I try to do my part, try to do my recycling and do things like that. To my people down in South Florida also, in North Florida because they got hit. That they hopefully everything is good out there. To one of my teachers, Nasik Zurisha Ben Yehuda. I'm not sure if he's listening, but I hope everything is well down there with you, my brother. Our brother Uriah down in South Florida, Morey Yehotzedek, and all the people down in South Florida. If you that, let me see. Anita Diggs down in South Florida also. May the Most High God be with you. And everybody else. So anything else about environmental talk? I listen to enough of that stuff, and they convince me. That's all. They convince me. Some of y'all might not believe it, but they convince me. So thanking the Most High God for all of you. So if no one has anything else to say, I'd like to thank you for tuning in with us. Like I said, I'm going to make that video with the holy days, and hopefully everyone enjoy yourselves. Like I said, what I'm going to do is block the camera for a second. I'm going to block the camera, block the audio, and I'm going to try to get this stream up. Well, like I told y'all, D.C.B page on Facebook, and you could basically get to see what we're trying to I'm going to play some music on Facebook Live. Let me see if I could start setting that up from now so that I could get a link. All right. So bear with me for a second. Oh boy, this computer has I really got to get rid of this Facebook Messenger, because this Facebook Messenger is driving me crazy. But then if I get rid of it, some people won't be able to get in contact with me. People send so many things on this Facebook Messenger. I don't get it. It's not that much information to share. It's a lot of information. Like I told y'all, I'm also uploading that Valley of Dry Bones Part 2 by Chief Naftali Ben Don right after I get off here. So you could also check that out. That'll be an option to check out today or tomorrow at the break, whenever. And that will be on my Uzi Lewi channel. My Uzi Lewi channel, just the way you see my name, that will be on that, all right? Goodness gracious, man. There's a lot of stuff opened up here. All right now. Sorry about this, people. I'm going to have an anxiety attack closing out all these messenger pages. All right, I got it. All right, here we go. Give me 1 second here. Everybody out there. Hallelujah. Y'all power was restored. That's great. All right now. Here we go. Let's see what we could do here. All right. This actually is working on two things. Let's see here. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Okay. It's crazy. It works on both things. So I'm going to begin the Facebook Live. So I'm going to conclude this Facebook live stream. I'm going to start the other one. And then the people that are on this live stream could join me on the other one as I play the music. All right. So once again, thanking everyone for joining us. And the people on YouTube, you can hang around for the Facebook Live link so that you can hear the music and all of the stuff that I was playing before. So give me 1 second here. So all the people here, shalom. Come back to us with the other Facebook live stream that I'm going to put up. And I'll be right back. And the people on YouTube Live, just give me a second. Don't close out your page so I can share the link with you. Shalom on Facebook Live. I'm coming right back on. People on YouTube Live, give me 1 second. Here we go. Let me start the YouTube. Let me close some of this stuff out. Let's see. All right, here we go. I'm going live. And there you go. So the people on, wait to see if somebody comes on my Facebook Live. All right, Barak Ben Levy. Shalom, shalom. Can you hear me on Facebook Live? Lavia, can you hear me? Yair, can you hear me on Facebook Live? Give me some thumbs up if you hear me. You hear me loud and clear? Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So now to get the link from this to share it with people. Okay, so y'all could hear me. So I could have actually did the stream from both on the, oh, wow. All right. I know for future now. Let me see here. I'm trying to find the link now so I could share it. I just don't know how to do it here. I know what to do. When all else fails, you use the cell phone so that the people will give the people. I want to give the people on Facebook the link, on YouTube the link. All right, here we go. Bear with me, people. I'm almost there. Let me see here. I can hear myself twice here. I'm trying to, give me a second here. I'm just trying to get the, oh, there you go. I'm copying that link. Go back to YouTube. My people in the chat on YouTube. All right, there go the link for the Facebook. Refresh your page. I can't believe it's doing this to me. I thought I was able to do that in the chat. I'm trying to find how to get the link. I can't find a way to get the link on, so just so my people out there, just go to my I'm going to share it right now on the D.C.B page. Right now it's on the D.C.B page. CHOKMAH BINAH. So to everybody there, that's what's happening. Let me start playing the music again, so that y'all can hear it. Then a little bit later, I'll begin to play the Bible tape so that people can go to sleep with that. Let me try to start it off with a nice. Oh, this is a nice one right here. This is a classic. Torah Yahovah by Cohen Levy. Here we go.
Yes, sir.
All right, people. So signing off at this time. Hoping and praying that everybody had a beautiful day, and that everybody will continue to be blessed.
If the drummers would start me.
Blessed be.
Yeah, we all know it. Because there's much to say. All the work comes on me. You don't have to say nothing but Torah Yahovah. We have a lot to thank Almighty God for.